Hello and welcome to another Lincoln property blog, brought to you by Ben from Walters of Lincoln. Today we look into the 113% more Lincoln homes for sale than 4 years ago. Across the UK and here in Lincoln, the property market remains surprisingly active, despite the issues at home and abroad. House prices are steady, buyers are still being selective, and the market itself is evolving. While the headline is eye-catching, this is not simply a story of rising numbers of homes for sale. It is a market slowly shifting shape in real time. Whether you are thinking of moving, actively searching, or simply keeping an eye on Lincoln house prices, the first third of 2026 has revealed several important trends homeowners should not ignore. So, let me start with the national picture, then look closer to home. Looking at the year to date, the number of agreed UK property sales by Sunday, 3rd of May 2026, was 5.3% lower than the same point a year earlier. On the face of it, that is bad news, isn't it? Possibly. Yet to put that into perspective, let me compare year-to-date 2026 with other years. 421,963 homes across the UK had been sold subject to contract to the 3rd of May 2026, compared to 445,484 to the 3rd of May 2025. Where it's interesting is when we look at previous years. 375,117 to the 3rd of May, average for 2017, 2018 and 2019. 368,120 to the 3rd of May 2023. And 4,929 to the 3rd of May 2024. So yes, we are 5.3% down on last year, but 4.2% ahead of 2024, 14.6% ahead of 2023, and 12.5% ahead of the pre-COVID averages of 2017, 18 and 19. Next, let us look at April on its own and see how this year compares with previous Aprils across the national property market, starting with the number of house sales agreed nationally. April 2023, 93,535 sales agreed. April 2024, 108,958 sales agreed. April 2025, 107,816 sales agreed. April 2026, 107,222 sales agreed. Now let us turn our attention to national house prices. The average UK selling price stood at £358,101 in April 2023, rising to £361,888 in April 2024, dipping slightly to £361,113 in April 2025, before edging up again to £361,651 in April 2026. Overall, that represents only a modest 1% increase over the last 3 years. Yet average selling prices only tell part of the story. Another, and often more revealing way of measuring house price movement is by looking at the average price paid per square foot. On that measure, values have risen much more strongly, climbing from £333 per square foot in April 2023 to £340 in April 2024, £341 in April 2025, and then jumping to £352 in April 2026. That is growth of 5.7% over the same period. So why the difference? The answer lies in the type of homes selling. Smaller properties often achieve a higher price per square foot, as do many premium homes at the upper end of the market. Therefore, if a greater proportion of smaller and more expensive homes are selling, it can push the pound per square foot figure higher, even while the overall average selling price appears relatively flat. In simple terms, headline house prices may look stable, but underneath the surface, the composition of the market is changing. Now we need to delve deeper into the Lincoln property market statistics. In April 2023, 328 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract, with an average selling price of £259,774 and a price of £248 per square foot for those homes. In April 2024, 428 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract, with an average selling price of £257,065 and a price per square foot of £242. In April 2025, 392 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract, with an average selling price of £255,020 and a price of £250 per square foot for those homes. In April 2026, 406 Lincoln homes sold subject to contract, with an average selling price of £272,773 and a price of £251 per square foot. Next, let's look at the number of properties for sale in Lincoln. In April 2023, there were 2,644 homes for sale. In April 2024, it was 3,127 homes for sale. In April 2025, 3,162 homes for sale. And in April 2026, a total of 3,358 homes were for sale. Interestingly, it was 1,570 in April 2022, meaning there are 113% more Lincoln homes for sale today than 4 years ago. So, what does it all mean for Lincoln homeowners? House prices are roughly stable. However, if you are selling, you face increased competition. As I mention in many of my blog posts, just over half of Lincoln homes that come to market end up selling and the homeowner moving, 54.36% to be exact for Lincoln, over the last 2 years, and interesting when compared to the national average of 55.53%. The remaining homes being withdrawn from the market unsold, and the homeowner having to put their home moving dreams on hold. This means that you only have roughly a 1 in 2 chance of selling if you put your home on the market. Therefore, accurate pricing is more critical than ever. And whilst it is the most important factor, it isn't the only factor. The Lincoln homes attracting the strongest interest in today's market are rarely there by accident. Often, they are the properties backed by exceptional marketing. Professional photography, video walkthroughs, virtual tours, and carefully targeted paid-for social media exposure are no longer optional extras. They are now essential tools in helping a Lincoln home stand out in an increasingly competitive market. For sellers wanting to maximize interest and achieve the best possible price, presentation has become non-negotiable. The reality is Lincoln's property market has never been a simple, one-direction market, and the first half of 2026 has proved that once again. In some parts of Lincoln, well-priced homes are selling quickly and attracting strong interest. In other areas, buyers are negotiating harder, not just on price, but also on completion dates, incentives, and even what stays in the property. That is why flexibility has become such an important advantage. Buyers willing to widen their search area slightly, rethink their priorities, or act decisively are often uncovering opportunities others miss. Equally, Lincoln sellers who understand the subtle differences between neighbourhoods, property types, and surrounding villages are placing themselves in a much stronger position when setting their asking price. One of the biggest truths many people forget is that most sellers are also buyers. In fact, more than 8 in 10 Lincoln homeowners selling their property are simultaneously looking for their next move. That means securing an extra few £1,000s on your sale is only one part of the equation. A sensible negotiation on your onward purchase can often outweigh any compromise made on your own selling price. Property moving is rarely about winning or losing. It is about balancing both sides of the move successfully. Lincoln also does not operate in isolation. National trends, economic confidence, and mortgage rates all influence the local market. Yet despite wider uncertainty over recent years, Lincoln has continued to show a quiet resilience. Success in Lincoln's property market for the remainder of 2026 will come down to preparation and adaptability. Buyers need to have finance agreed and must be ready to act quickly when the right property appears. Sellers need realistic pricing, strong marketing, and a strategy from day one. there is still plenty of opportunity in the Lincoln property market. But the advantage will belong to those willing to work with the market as it really is, rather than how they hope it might be. What are you seeing in the Lincoln market right now? Are you noticing the same trends or something completely different? For more insights and information, visit the Lincoln Property blog at walters-property.com/blog. Until next time, take care. If you are thinking about selling and want an honest, evidence-based opinion on your Lincoln home's actual market value, with no fluff, no pressure, and no nonsense, I would be delighted to help. To ensure all our clients get the absolute best experience and a total marketing strategy as unique as their homes, we only list 20 properties per month. Our June and July market appraisal slots are now available to book at walters-property.com/property-valuation or call us on 01522512513. We ensure that you are always a name and not just a number with Walters.